welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're listening to Ben and Kirk.
Hi.
And Eddie.
That was so badly done.
It was really bad.
That was so badly done.
I kind of expected you to say hi, because obviously normally it's Pete presenting.
What did I say?
You just went, you're listening to Ben, and I just expected hi or hello, because that's what you normally do.
Yeah. Well, it's a strong opening, because we only found out that Pete wasn't joining us like 15 minutes ago. So
yes, he's taken a leaf out of my book.
I haven't had time to get into host mode. It's been a while since I've done this. So
it was low energy, and Pete would be.
It just everything was bad about it. Yeah.
I thought
in the old days that would be Ben. Do you want to do it again? But now we've done a few of these.
Now we're established. We don't need to worry about that.
We just go with it.
Flaws and all.
Fine. But Pete is not with us this week, and we usually make a joke about him potentially being dead, and he has COVID this time, so hopefully not.
I mean, he's had COVID before, but it'd be fine.
He's a seasoned pro at COVID.
He's a veteran.
He's going to have extra long COVID now, because he had long COVID from the first one, didn't he?
He actually had long COVID, That's no laughing matter despite our laughs.
He hasn't slept properly in months.
I mean, nothing new there. Nothing new.
Yeah, for as long as he can remember. But yeah, so we are going to do our usual new releases, what we've been playing, which includes the Kirby demo, Gran Turismo, and Elden Ring.
Don't say it like that.
That's how the guy pronounced it.
No, I know. It's the emphasis on it, though, that you've done. It's just like, you fucking say it right. Jesus.
I'm sorry, I'm saying it exactly how you're supposed to say it.
Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo.
Yeah, thank you.
Gran Turismo.
And our feature this week was picked by Kirk. What the hell has happened to scary games of recent times? So we're going to be talking about that. But before that, Kirk put out a nice Twitter post asking for some questions, feedback, that type of stuff. And we've got a few to mention, haven't we?
We do. I'm going to kick us off with Hopple Game. This is what he put. With all those Elden Ring players, I got hyped for a game of Magic. My question would be if you can recommend a good one. I did buy Dragon Quest Inquisition some minutes ago, which was the Game of the Year edition on sale for €4.49. Never played this series, and I need a break before I start Mass Effect 3. So I think what he's asking is, what would you suggest, guys?
Magic games. Well, the obvious one is Skyrim, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking actually Oblivion. And Pete would definitely say Morrowind. Because the magic in Morrowind is insane. Like, you could do anything. Oblivion.
Yeah, the magic had to be used in Morrowind because the melee combat was so good.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the magic is better the games you go back, but can you? Like, I can't go back to Oblivion now. Have you tried going back to Oblivion?
God. It's rough. It's rough, boy. It's rough.
So these are games you're talking about that I've never played. So.
Oh, wow.
Of course not, Kirk. We never expected you to. But another one on my list is Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay,
nice. That's a goodie. That's a really good game, and it's on Switch these days. So if you've got a Switch,
I will say I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here and actually say this is going to be completely different. Baldur's Gate, or any of the Baldur's Gate games, or Divinity, Original Sin 2. I know they're different. They're strategy isometric games, but honestly, the magic in them is so much fun. When you get like a certain spell, it changes your gameplay entirely. In fact, I've restarted multiple games just because I found a certain thing. So,
also all on Switch.
Oh, wow! There you go.
Yeah,
Ben, are you advertising Switch a bit already?
I've gone into Switch mode. Into Switch mode.
We've gone from Game Pass, Grumpy Game Pass, to I don't know something clever about Switch.
It's who I be.
Sickeningly Switch. Lovely.
It's fine.
Right, we've got another one here, and this is actually from WTFDYW Pod, which is What the Fuck Do You Want Pod, which actually
I thought
Ben,
it was. Yes.
We featured on there, didn't we? It came out.
We did this week.
It came out this week, yeah. So go
download it. That's our plug for going download that pod.
Yes. But what put on? Oh shit! I probably shouldn't have said his name, should I?
I'll bleep it out. He doesn't like his name mentioned.
Yeah, he doesn't like his name being mentioned, does he? No.
If I remember to bleep it out.
No, bleep it out because we will get.
It's a swift edit tonight. Well, I can't make any promises.
He will fucking kill us.
I might bleep it out. Right, come on, what did he say? What did he say?
He put, this is a bit of a story, so buckle in, guys. Dearest gamey grumper pricks, you boys could use a... Fucking, I messed it up already. You boys
it's 4 paragraphs, mate. You gotta wait until at least the second one to make
Let me go full read mode, okay? Right. You boys could use a little team building exercise because a well-crafted machine with only one greasy component, Eddie, is liable to fail under the slightest hint of pressure. Let's face it, you're no A-team. At the moment, you're not even a Portuguese rip-off of the Power Rangers. Nice.
Fair.
Yeah. This isn't entirely your fault. We're born ignorant, not arrogant. So I want every member to list their favourite game of all time. GOAT time. Now, this isn't Metacritic, Edge Top 100, IGN Reach Around Trombone time. I want to hear about your game of games. Speak with your heart, not your reviewing systems. I then want every member to mock that choice as much as possible. Favourite games are futile. There's no rhyme nor reason to why we love them. It's like parents that have ugly kids and love them anyway. Hopefully they love them. Hey, Pete? Great. Oh, that's scolding. Bond through mutual piss taking and feel your bond strengthen. Deadbeat punk. The WTFDYW cunt.
Sorry, first things first. Who says goat as GOAT?
Me.
I've never
heard that. No.
You're the only human.
Yeah.
There's a lot of firsts with me, and you know it. So
GOAT.
Yeah. But the big thing for this one, when you showed me this one, this sounds like a feature. This sounds like a feature waiting to happen.
It does, and we're not going to give him any royalties or anything because we get paid fuck all anyway, so we'd get fuck all in return. But
he can have 50% of the earnings of that episode. How about that?
Sweet fuck all.
If anything, this costs me money,
yes,
so
it does.
maybe he could share in that cost. Maybe he could share in that cost for once.
That's true. But no, it's the kind of thing that would definitely warrant a feature. So I think we're going to save for that one. I think.
Yeah, so we're not going to answer it. So
we're not going to answer it. So sorry about that, you cunt. Right. We also
what does he mean by greasy component? That hurt.
Well, he's obviously. Does that hurt you, Eddie?
I don't know. Is that because I feel like it's written as a compliment because a well-crafted machine with only one greasy component. Oh, I guess that is. No,
yeah, I think actually it is a component, but I think it is a compliment. But I think he's got the measure of you calling you greasy.
Yeah, how did he know? Was he meant?
If he's known you, you are very slick to touch. So
slick to the touch. Yeah.
What? Why did this have to get so weird?
Welcome to Grumpy Gamers Podcast. So we also had a question in from @MetalliJohn. Is there a game in your favourite genre that you couldn't get into no matter how hard you try?
Definitely.
Okay.
Mine's The Witcher 3.
Oh.
I own it on everything. I've played it multiple times. I've played it on every console, including the Switch. But no.
That's only because they probably think they'd see, your username come up and go, this guy loves us so much he's got us on every console.
He's quad dipped. Yeah, he's all
loves it. He bloody loves it.
He gets it on everything.
I've tried trying getting into the Need for Speed franchise before, as I love my Vroomy games.
Yeah.
And the last one I played was Underground 2, and then when do you remember Most Wanted? Need for Speed Most Wanted. It was like a launch 360 title as well.
Yeah.
They just completely changed it up, and I was like, I couldn't get on board with it, and I've just not bothered with them since. So,
ooh,
yeah.
So that just shows if you have one bad game in a franchise, then that could be it, couldn't it?
Well, Underground 2 was fucking fantastic. I don't know if you guys ever played it, but it was at like the height, like Fast and Furious kind of era, like where you were modding cars, all that kind of thing, and it was an absolute banger of a game. And then they went the other way, and it was like, so
yeah, they've fallen off a cliff now, haven't they?
They have. But what about you, Eddie? You got anything or?
Yeah, Outward. I talked about it probably about 6 months ago on the pod.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember? It's really, really like everything on paper was so good about it. I played the tutorial and I loved the tutorial. So I was like, this is going to be an amazing game. And then I just really couldn't get into it. I played along and I tried to force myself into it. And honestly, though, you'll remember in the podcast, I remember saying, please, listeners, just message me if you've played this and you don't know why it's shit. But it just, I don't know, it was like on paper it's supposed to be amazing, but couldn't put a finger on it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Okay.
Moving on. At Boldman Gamer, he said, "What matters more, resolution, performance, or performance ray tracing mode? And when do you think we will get to the point of these consoles hitting their full potential and get true native next generation games, not just upgrade patches? And who will do it better, PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series consoles?"
This again is tailor-made feature territory.
It is, isn't it? So this is what's lovely about involving the community, because they give us ideas that we might not have.
So
We don't need to
don't have to
spend
get
an hour
together
on
on a
a
Sunday.
They're
bloody
helping us
podcast
make content for them. It's amazing.
Yeah, for the listeners, we actually get together and we have actually scheduled features in for 3 months in advance or something. So, and then we mix them all around during that time. So actually, this is good. I think we've actually got some good features to add in on the not too distant future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So stay tuned for answers to that question as well. And finally, we've got at Mr. Llama Fluff. I love that name, honestly. It's great.
Yeah,
it is a great name, isn't it? Do you think some games take too long to give you the good stuff? Sometimes it feels like a game is artificially holding stuff back just to extend the completion time. As Danny Glover repeatedly said in Lethal Weapon, I'm too old for this shit.
Great reference.
Absolutely. They always fucking do it. There's so many games that do... what I like about Elden Ring, we'll get onto that, is that they give you loads. There's so much stuff that you can get all the time. Dark Souls 2 was terrible, in my opinion, for that.
Yeah.
Like, the different armor sets, stuff like that, is so late in the game that you got any of that. Like, so you didn't get to care about that part of the game early on. And when games hold out on you, it's usually a sign that something's not quite right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why I loved. What the hell's that game that I was bang on about how it's underrated? Ghost Recon Wildlands. You can go to any bit of the map, you can fight any boss, and you can get any weapon or anything at any time. And I love that. It makes you want to replay it. You know what's a good example of this exactly happening is Fallout 4. And don't get me wrong, you know how much I love Fallout 4. Absolutely. Like, probably one of my favourite games.
Big time fan.
But it for a start, the whole beginning sequence where it takes like 10 minutes just to get to open worldness, and even then you're miles away from anything. And then I remember when I first got it and I did a bit of research, I found out that like certain things are locked behind certain levels that you get to. So like you can't even get good weapons until you're like level 24 or something.
Right.
And that infuriated me. Thank God for mods, because like I've replayed that game probably 100 times. But thank God that I've got a mod that
That's
goes
an exaggeration.
like... I don't think that's an exaggeration. I reckon about 100 times.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
And
You heard it here.
yeah, there you go. And
Kurt can check that on your Xbox.
Kirk, check it out. I'd be surprised, but Kirk is awfully good at that old.
He is actually, isn't he? Anyway,
It's very stalkery. They put the information there for you. So.
Correct. It's very weird.
Just quickly from me, Marvel's Avengers was one that I likened to with this, because it's just such a fucking grind fest, and that's what made me not want to play it, because the basis of the game was great, the mechanics were there, everything was, it looked great, and it did feel great, but it was just like fucking sluggish to do anything. I poured in like 3 or 4 hours, and I just felt like I got nowhere fast, so I was like, fuck it, can't be asked. So. But yeah, it's up to you. Depends on if you want to do it. There is I do just before we end this, Mr. Llama Fluff also had a bonus question, but it was aimed at the guy that's not here. So I don't know if I should just keep that for next week.
There you go.
No, say it, so Pete can stew on it for a week.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, this is for Pete, definitely. He said, "When will all of the teams sort out their Twitter accounts? How are fans of the pod supposed to stalk you about one?"
Yep.
Exactly.
Well said. Yeah.
Pete.
So Pete, sort your shit out. We're like, we don't want your personal one, because if you want people to stalk your personal one, then you're gonna have a problem, mate. Okay, do a GG one. Do a GG one, then you're sorted.
Lovely, good stuff. That was a good little section.
So thanks everyone for writing to us and giving us all that feedback and questions.
Yeah, some great contributions there. So let's move swiftly on to the news. We've got some breaking stuff kind of from today. So unfortunately, Forspoken has been delayed until the 11th of October from May.
Yeah, I saw this earlier.
Yeah, well, because I've been looking forward to that game for a while. It's a PS5 exclusive, if I remember rightly. But I think some gameplay came out fairly recently, and it didn't look as good as originally kind of thought it would do. But anyway, it's been delayed, so probably good. Gives them a bit of time and gives them a bit of space from these bigger games that have just come out and doing very, very well.
Yeah, for a good reason to keep the hell away from all them. Yeah.
So yeah, if things are getting delayed, it's probably for a good reason. Next one, Eurogamer says that Nintendo's Switch Online app got a huge update. You guys haven't got a Switch, so you probably don't realise that this app that you get on your phone is an absolute joke. It's probably one of the weirdest things in modern gaming, and this update will do absolutely nothing for the success of that app.
Brilliant. So hold on, just quickly. Is it still a joke with the update, or is the update coming?
Yes, it's still a joke.
Okay. Right.
Basically, it's a way for you to communicate with your friends. So it's almost like a shit Discord service for Nintendo Switch games.
Okay.
However, only 2 or 3 games are on that service.
Oh.
I think it's Splatoon. Something else, maybe. Don't know. There's no games on it.
Fantastic.
It's a joke. And the third quick news from today is that there is a rumor that PlayStation/Sony have purchased a Konami IP.
Yes, this is an interesting one. Because it's interesting. It's not Konami as the publisher or developer, but it's the IP. So wondering what it could be. And obviously, I mean, the big names are Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. Those are the kind of ones that seem to be popping up. Metal Gear Solid would definitely make sense because it's
Metal Gear would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it would.
It's, obviously, Konami themselves are not doing anything with it, and obviously, PlayStation was the original home. So,
can I throw a spanner in the works here and maybe say, imagine how good it would be if it was Pro Evolution Soccer?
But wait, no, wasn't eFootball Konami?
Yeah, that's eFootball's the devil spawn of Pro Evo.
Yeah, so I mean,
maybe Sony have purchased eFootball and they're going to make it good.
maybe.
You heard it here first. Right, now let's move on to the bigger news. We have had an Nvidia Switch Pro /2 leak. So Nvidia has reportedly been completely compromised by a cyber attack. As reported by The Telegraph, parts of Nvidia, which is America's largest microchip company, were offline for almost 2 days last week. So do you guys remember last year when GeForce Now had that leak?
Yes.
And that's Nvidia's cloud gaming service.
That's where all those games were
absolutely
brought out, and a lot of it came to light that it was true, wasn't it?
It was true, yeah. So there were a lot of leaks that came out about games that were going to come out in the future, and then a lot have been announced since that point. So, Nvidia have had this happen to them before, and this time it's something Nintendo related. And yes, we're back on that trail of the Switch Pro, the Switch 2. You can never get away from it for that long. So obviously there's going to be a new Switch at some point. Everyone, that is pretty obvious. It's been 5 years. It's now like the Switch's 5-year birthday now.
It is, isn't it?
But the cracks on the Switch are starting to show, not physically, some Switches probably, but more the game. Like the new systems come out, they're never going to be able to handle ports of those types of games, and even the current games kind of run a bit crap. We'll talk about Kirby soon.
Spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. But this leak, it talks about the Nvidia chip beyond the Tegra X1, which is what is currently used in the Switch. So Tech Power Update, they broke it down and posted up basically the Nvidia DLSS source code that was leaked. That's where my understanding kind of gets limited, but the folder that this source code was all contained within was something called NVN2. Now, NVN1 is the API that developers use to access the Tegra X1 in the current Switch. So NVN2 implies it's the next
natural progression,
Switch.
Isn't it? So
absolutely. So, that last bit could be a bit wonky in terms of my understanding, but if anybody knows, then let me know and we can make a correction next week. But people were pretty set on this being an upgrade of sorts. Nothing else is really known. Personally, to me, it makes sense that a Pro model. I know we've said it to death, everyone said it to death, but a Pro model which includes a 4K kind of output on your TV through the dock makes sense, as opposed to the Switch 2. The only thing that I don't think about a Switch 2 kind of really being thought about much with developers at the moment would be the shortage of components to have a successful launch for a Switch 2, and sheer volumes that are being sold right now of the current Switch. I know it's not the hardware is really kind of lacking. We've seen Pokemon Arceus, like things just don't look as good as you think they should do at the moment. But things are going too well for Nintendo to really be planning a launch of a new system, I think.
Also, can you imagine, like, with how successful the Switch has been, and obviously it's, like you said, still is selling, people are going to lap up a sequel to it, aren't they? They really are. And if they haven't got enough, it'll piss people off. Like, I think Microsoft and Sony have managed to get away with it because they've still got their previous consoles in a way, and they're still supporting them in such a way with this whole cross-generational thing. So
you're absolutely right, yeah.
It's dampened it, hasn't it? Whereas Nintendo are, they're not exactly backwards compatible friendly, and, if they put out a new machine, people want it, but then they go, okay, I can't get hold of one for a year. Fucking great.
Well, I think they probably will go back compatible. We don't. It's all speculation at this point, but I think the Switch will kind of be incremental as it goes forward, and I think your old Switch games will work on the new
before,
Switch.
Didn't you?
But I think you bang on, because I think the reason PlayStation and Xbox got away with it was because they announced their console launches far before the pandemic. And they couldn't really pull out of it. Like, nobody's pulling out of that situation, was it? But Nintendo's not going to announce it now, I wouldn't imagine, because the chip shortages and component shortages are looking likely until the end of 2023 is what people are saying.
Yeah.
So you can't, because the next Nintendo console is going to sell very, very well. So,
but they need that inventory, baby.
They do indeed. Kirk, what's your news story?
That's a very abrupt segue. Jesus.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was no segue. He was just
your story now.
Move us on.
Right. So, as reported by Eurogamer, Halo Co-op is not launching in May after all. So, I'm going to start off with a quote. The reality is that it's going to take more time to land a high-quality, full-featured, full-player network co-op experience. We're also committed to a great two-player, split-screen co-op experience on all Xbox consoles, from the original Xbox through to Xbox Series X, and the non-linear, wide-open sections of the campaign present some big challenges for split-screen that have taken us more time to solve, which was a post on the Halo Waypoint. So this is quite disappointing for Halo fans that have been wanting to play online with their mates, because Ben, as you know, you've played the single player campaign, and you can imagine it being a shit ton of fun with your mates, can't you? Because
I think it'd be really good.
Exactly,
really good.
So yeah, people are obviously, this is a bit of a blow. I kind of think that maybe their vision was too ambitious for this, because they obviously put Forge on hold as well, which people were.
I was going to say they delayed that, and they delayed season 2 or something, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So Forge is now being targeted for a season 3 release. We've got season 2 coming May 3rd, and they've said that they want to get the campaign co-op sorted by the end of season 2. Which we obviously don't know what that date is yet. So probably another 6 months if the first season was anything to go by. Further in the blog post, though, it says that undergirds everything we do, namely team health, with an emphasis on getting ourselves. Yeah, it's I checked this on Google. I was like, is that a real thing? And it is. It's the underside of. It's the underside of something, as in,
the undergirds.
As in the undergirds.
This is the undergirds.
Okay. I did check it. I checked it. I vetted it.
How did we not know? Of two well-educated men and Kirk do not know undergird.
How have we got this far in life? I can understand Kirk, but not us.
Yeah.
Right. So the undergirds That undergirds everything we do, namely team health, with an emphasis on getting ourselves into a sustainable development rhythm so that we can deliver great experiences to all of you while keeping a healthy work-life balance. So basically with this, I'm guessing that they are taking the whole work-life balance seriously. And, you know, as we all know in the gaming industry, there is a lot of crunch, isn't there? You know, just look at Rockstar, for example. You know, people literally working their fingers to the bone just to get a fucking game out. Now, it obviously is disappointing for us gamers because things aren't coming on a time schedule that we were initially promised. But at the end of the day, these people they're human. And they're just trying to do their job to provide us something that we can have fun with. It's probably a bit too much to expect if, like, you can't just say, fucking do your job and just, I don't care about the end, like, just, you've got this deadline, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think, you know, if they can't do it, they can't do it. But the big kind of pushback on this is that they launched their game knowing that they couldn't deliver any of this stuff. Like,
or did they? Did they though?
Well, the thing is, my big question would be, how far was this game away? You know, when it was originally supposed to release, like 18 months ago.
Yes.
How far was it genuine? It must have been so far away, like unimaginably so far away from the finished article. When they released the game properly, it was a big milestone for them to actually get the game out. The multiplayer is excellent. But it's dying.
It's
of
scarce.
lack of content.
It's scarce, isn't it?
So little content. I think the multiplayer should take a priority in terms of the content, because the game dies when the community dies. Mm-hmm. And the community is through multiplayer. They need to concentrate on the Forge. They need to concentrate on getting extra maps out. I thought they would have got more stuff out by now, and they've got nothing. Yeah. The campaign stuff, they can push that because it's almost like relaunching the game a bit. Like, when it does come out, you know, Kirk will play.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that you know, we'll play that, and I don't mind waiting for that so much. It's just Halo doesn't have a good look at the moment.
It's lacking, and it needs something to tick it over. And I mean, we don't know exactly what's in Season 2 just yet, but or how that's going to pan out. But I guess...
But we're putting all our hopes in the multiplayer, and Eddie has a news story.
Hey? No.
That was a good segue.
Hey.
That was a good one. That was good.
That was really good.
I don't like that.
Andrew Witz, the multiplayer lead for Halo Infinite, has left 343 Industries.
What?
Very good. That wasn't even a sound effect, but that should be. You should record that. This story's, I found it on Video Games Chronicle. In a tweet, the developer said, "Today was my last day of 343 Industries. It's been an honour leading the MP design team over these years. Thank you to all at Halo fans for your feedback over the years. We made this game for you." He continued, "Going to take some time off to relax and recharge, but I'm excited what's next." It's not clear what Witz plans to do next, but he previously worked on a core gameplay designer for Rainbow Six Siege. He's gone, Kirk.
Okay.
What do you say about that, Kirk?
I mean, it's upsetting, isn't it?
Sorry?
Also, I mean, to be honest with you, the first thing I got to say is Eddie he does go full read mode on things, doesn't he? He actually said the at Halo fans when he should have just said all Halo fans, because that's what
I'm reading his tweet. Basically, I'm not going to correct the tweet.
You don't need to say the at, Eddie, because all he's doing is saying Halo fans.
Yes, I know. But you've got to say at, because he's atting them, so you need to show that he's atting them.
I don't know.
No, he's atting the Halo account,
right.
So that it
How can someone who literally read GOAT say that maybe I shouldn't have said at Halo? So he's actually recognising the fans.
You haven't got a leg to stand on. And as much as I hate to agree with Kirk, I do agree with him on that at Halo.
Right.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Anyway, it's the news is, well, what can we do? What can we do? He's obviously wanted to move on.
That's brilliant. Nice one.
So I've got a list.
So yeah, good luck to him. But Halo, not. I fear for that multiplayer, man. I really do, because it's so good, isn't it? It's so good.
It is, but it's going to have issues. But there are other things that have got issues, haven't they, Ben?
Right, okay, thank you for segueing me. This is Pete's news story. So
What is happening today, guys?
Pete's not here. It's all gone
Yeah,
to
well,
shit.
that's what's annoying. I hate that Pete segues everything, and now you're all segueing everything. Stop segueing.
Do your news story.
Thanks for
God,
the
we
segue,
need to
Kirk.
get to the undergird of all of this.
Right, Elden Ring. Steam cloud saves have had issues over the last week, or probably since launch. So issues with Elden Ring on PC have continued. It's really not been a good launch for Elden Ring on PC.
Not on the old PC, no.
Not on the old PC. Despite it being I think I saw the other day, the 6th biggest concurrent players on Steam ever.
Oh.
So it is actually doing incredibly.
People
on
persevere,
PC.
don't they, when it's something they love?
It's doing incredibly, but it's just it's had a lot of issues. So this time, people couldn't save their game to the Steam cloud, and it was causing conflicts and the potential loss of saves. And Bandai Namco said it was under certain conditions. I like that. That's probably saying we don't know exactly when it happens, but it can happen. But they basically said be very vigilant on the saves that are created and choosing the right file to be synchronized on your PC in the cloud. But the issue is reportedly fixed now. But as to these PC issues on Elden Ring for PC, so if you had a choice of where to buy it and PC was your only option, then fair enough. But otherwise, the console is the way to play. And more than that, the latest update has now fixed any save issues on the PlayStation as well. So there were issues with saving if your PlayStation crashed or if you pulled the plug when it was in rest mode. Now, I don't really think that's an issue with saving. I think that's like your PlayStation's crashed or you've pulled the plug out.
If you pour water on your console, there might be disruptions to your game.
It's not really Elden Ring's fault, but okay, that's fixed. But I'd be absolutely devastated if my save file got removed.
Absolutely.
We're recording on Monday, so this is just over a week, and I've played 52.5 hours. That's my save file.
That's
and a half.
I mean, do you have a job or?
I work in and out.
Okay.
I think my save game's not too bad because I started again, but I think I've chucked in like 25, 30 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's a time sink, and it's a good time sink. So yeah, I'd be absolutely fucking devastated. But that brings to close the news for the week.
So just quickly, Eddie, 24 hours on Elden Ring.
Oh, you are such a perv. Honestly, how do you have these facts just at hand all the time?
Xbox app, baby.
Just weird that you do that.
It is weird, but shall we move on to the new releases? I was thinking of a segue there, but I don't know whether to call you weird or something like I don't know.
Okay.
It's weird, just like the new releases. No, it doesn't work.
Oh gosh, he's really stretching this. All right. First one, Assassin's Creed Valhalla has a DLC called Dawn of Ragnarok. Coming out on everything, March 10th. Nice try, Pete. I'm not going to read out that fucking blurb. Nice try. Basically, you are Odin, the Norse god of battle and wisdom. And you run around killing things. There's new maps and stuff like that. Cool idea. Ben, you actually have the game, so are you contemplating?
No, the game is incredibly samey. I did actually really enjoy it, but you have to enjoy doing the same thing for 50, 60 hours. Now, and as I said at the time, that is no bad thing if you just want to just mindlessly do the same thing, and that there's nothing wrong with that, and you are progressing the story and stuff like that. But I really liked it for 10 hours. But
you got your money's worth.
I did because I didn't pay for it.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
So
In that case, yes. And the thing with Assassin's Creed games, for me, is because of the combat, because of that style of combat, it does feel samey if you're fighting humans all the time. And I thought Assassin's Creed Valhalla was going to be the one for me that got me back into the series because... Do you remember reading all about the base mechanics and you get to build things? And
yeah, but
it's not
like that.
Yeah,
though.
no, I played it around my mate Charlie's, and you told me as well that it's just shit, isn't it?
It's just upgrading stuff. It's not. Yeah, it's not the base building that you would know and love.
Yeah, it's a shame. I just need something just so that when I'm running around killing everything, I feel like I'm doing it for a reason, so that I can get the money to maybe build something cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want something.
You like progression.
I like progression. That's right, Kirk. Thank you. Next one, Distant Worlds 2, coming out on PC March 10th. Distant Worlds 2 is a vast, pausable, real-time 4X space strategy game. Experience the full depth and detail of turn-based strategy, but with the simplicity and ease of real-time and on the scale of massively multiplayer online game. The universe is yours. This looks like Pete's favourite game of all time, and he fucking pulled a sickie, didn't he?
I know, Eddie, I mentioned on my notes, I have looks like Stellaris / Endless Space.
Yes.
Pete might like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I got huge Stellaris vibes from it. Even like the drawing of the characters look like the guys of Stellaris. And we know how many hours has Pete on the Stellaris? Kirk probably already fucking has written on his mirror, probably. But yeah, Pete's chucked some hours into that, so this could be a biggie for Pete.
Yeah, this looks like bargain bin Stellaris.
Lovely.
Nice. Being hot. Yeah, probably being hot. It's fine.
Well, Stellaris came out a while ago, and this looks the same quality, so yes, I think that's bargain bin.
Or worse.
Okay, right. Okay, we started off so high praise, we ended with that. Okay. Let's move on. Submerged, Hidden Depths, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, March 10th. March 10th is a big day. Boat, climb, solve and explore in the beautiful ruins of a sunken world. A drowned city, crumbling tips of skyscrapers, stubbornly standing above the waves. Stubbornly standing? Fine. Deserted village, now inhabited by enigmatic creatures.
Enigmatic.
Yeah, all right, okay. Did you hear me go close to the mic?
Educated, apparently.
No, Kirk, when you're that far away, shut up, Kirk. You know what's annoying? You did this the other week. When I criticised you for something, you waited 45 minutes and I made like one mistake on a word and you went like, what was that? God, Kirk, there's a reason why you don't do this section. You done?
Which is what?
Because you did it once and it was fucking horrendous.
It was awful.
Awful.
You were really bad.
You were really
listeners,
bad.
if you could send some feedback, that'd be fantastic.
Don't
Are you
worry
on my
about it,
side or
listeners.
Eddie's side?
Of course they're going to be on your side because you're the one that always, sucks up to them on Twitter.
I don't suck up to anyone. I told someone to fuck off.
Did you? Kirk, I can't imagine you doing that. Did you actually? Not to one of our listeners.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
no.
Don't insult the listeners.
No, don't insult the listeners. You'll be off the Twitter so fast, and Ben will be back on it where he doesn't talk to anyone.
He doesn't do anything, so the pod will die.
I'll be changing that password so bad, and then we'll have no interaction with anyone.
Oh, dear me. Anyway, Submerged Hidden Depths. It's a non-combat, third-person exploration adventure game. It looks okay, but when you're looking at the features, one of the features that it boasts about is that you can climb. So they've either listened to Ben's opinion on Horizon, or it's a pretty basic game.
Eddie, you didn't say the most important thing. They actually called this a relaxploration.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
It doesn't quite work though.
Yeah.
Speaking of climbing, at Mr. Lamafluff fucking hates climbing as well.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably climbing in Horizon.
It's not.
That's probably what set him over the edge.
So this game would be right up there for him.
Well, to be honest, looking at this game though, I actually think it looks quite good. I've written down in my notes, nice visuals, warming.
It kind of looks a bit like
warming. Yeah, that's quite
warming.
Nice
it kind of looks a little bit like Sea of Thieves in a way.
Yes, I see what you mean.
That warm.
It's got like that cartoony art style, but with realism included as well.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the Sea of Thieves. Never played it, but seen screenshots. Next one, Time Loader, coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox Series, and Switch. March 10th again. Time Loader is a story-driven puzzle platformer with tiny robots, alternate realities, nostalgic music, and primitive tech from the 90s. It's a platform game. You are a robot. Yeah, it looks really simple. There's a free demo.
I tell you what it reminded me of. It Takes Two.
I wouldn't say that personally.
Like
I
a
would say that.
2D kind of
Yeah, like a side to side kind of.
Yeah.
I thought Kirk could be all over it.
No.
Kirk's Game of the Year.
Yeah.
This is
I
going to
thought
be
this
your
was-
Game of the Year,
I
isn't
thought
it?
this was a potential Game of the Year for Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or my GOAT.
Yeah, maybe it's GOAT.
Yeah, good point, actually. Well,
Yeah,
Kirk,
no,
I'm looking
I'm not-
forward to your review next week of this.
Fuck off.
Free demo, mate!
I mean, maybe I could give it a go just for the pod.
Kirk. Right, we'll look
Yeah,
forward
Kirk,
to that.
it's a new game. You know, every game that you've played in the last 2 years has been for fucking 10 years old.
That's
the
not-
one that you're talking
that's
about
not-
later
Guardians
on
of the
is
Galaxy?
That's not
Guardians of
fair.
the Galaxy.
20 years old.
That's not fair, Ben. Let's see what he's got on the what we've been playing section.
Let's see what he's
Then,
playing this
see.
week.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. Fine.
Also, Guardians of the Galaxy, please fuck off.
Okay, right. Next one, Workshop Simulator, coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox Series, PC, all on March 10th. Workshop Simulator allows you to repair and furnish items used a range of restoration mechanics such as... Oh, guys, I can't even see that. There's so many S's. Disassembling, cleaning, sanding, and painting. The accompanying story will immerse you in the nostalgia of tinkering with your grandfather. Tinkering with
Sorry?
your grandfather?
Oh, that sounds...
Am I reading that right?
That's a
I'm too
bit
far away
suspect,
from my
isn't it?
computer. That's okay. Let's just
That's
ignore that last sentence happened. This came out because I remember actually doing a blurb on this. This came out in October 2021 on something, but I can't imagine what it is because it's just come out on PC.
I was going to say, I remember seeing
Yeah,
this and Ben being like, yeah...
Maybe
I
it was
like Simulator.
delayed. Ooh,
Maybe, or maybe it's just that there's a myriad of fantastic, wonderful simulator games, and this is just another one.
No, because I remember saying exactly that this looks like what my dad does for a job. It looks like the old furniture restoration and all that.
Tinkers with his grandfather.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
That's...
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
Well, there's a free demo.
The game looks good. The game looks good.
Yeah, but I thought you'd
I
like
never
it, Ben.
free-
It's
I never
got
free demo.
simulator in it.
But surprisingly, graphically, I think it looks really good.
It does, yeah. It does look better than the other ones, yeah.
I'm a bit surprised that a simulator game has a story. That's a bit weird. Just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. That's all.
I mean,
Game has story. Okay.
I think another one did. Was it like the one where you like had tenants or something? That one had a bit of a story.
I mean,
in it
Power
as
Wash
well.
Simulator has a purpose.
Yeah, to clean
Kind
patios.
of like a story.
All right, let's move on. Dot hack / g dot u dot last recode. Ben, was that right?
I'd say it's right.
Yeah, it looks
Is that
like,
the actual name of this game?
Yeah, that literally is the name. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my lord! Right. Well, this is coming out on March 11th on the Switch. The collection includes all 3 original .hack / g .u titles: Rebirth, Reminiscence, and Redemption, all fully restored and remastered, as well as all new 4th volume. .hack / g .u
I mean, this is unnecessary.
reconnection.
You'd sound like you're going full robot mode now. It's like you go from Eddie to robot
Do you know
to
why?
Eddie.
It's because I'm so far away from my laptop, so I don't get the old sound on my mic that I have to like squint and see what the letters are and where the slashes are. And if I get one letter wrong, then I get ripped by everyone. So what do you want from me?
I can't argue with you. That's
Yeah,
very
thank you.
fair.
I mean,
That's very fair.
I just want the right name. That's what I want.
Fine. This came out in 2017. It looks like Final Fantasy VII Combat. It looks pretty terrible to me. But Ben, have you heard of this one? This seems like something that you might defend.
I haven't heard of it. My
okay.
notes, I've put stupid name, fans only.
Stupid name.
So, yeah.
Well, there we go. Kirk, any
I think
thoughts?
Okay.
I think this came out on the PlayStation 2 originally.
Wow. Okay, that's old.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the images. It's got comparison shots between PS2 and PS4. So
Okay, yeah, it must have done that.
maybe part of the reason why you're saying it looks so terrible because it is a very dated game. But
You know what annoyed me about it was actually what annoyed me the most was like how eccentric everything was, and everyone was going mental about swinging stuff, and it just seemed too much to me. It seemed like they were trying too hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Next one, WWE 2K22 coming out on PlayStation's, Xbox's March 11th. Redesigned engine, new controls, all the features you can handle. Get ripped out of the stands and hit with complete control of the WWE universe. Hitting this harder has never been easy. WWE 2K22, it hits different.
For our listeners, that's because it had capital letters.
Don't have capital letters.
Points.
Eddie reads what he sees.
Don't have capital letters. Don't have capital letters. That's like, you know what? Fine. Look,
do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny about this? I saw an advert for this not too long ago, and it had all of the wrestlers in the advert, and it was so fucking cheesy, man. Like, and then at the end, it was promoting the game. Didn't realize it was promoting a game to begin with because it was just all live action with all the characters, etc. And then it showed some gameplay right at the end, and I thought, and it's like new engine, and I went, this is fucking dog shit. How is this a new engine on the current hardware? This I would have expected it to come a lot further than what it is here. It's ridiculous.
No, but the last couple of entries, but especially the last entry, was really, really awful. Had a terrible launch. Was so buggy. Was an absolute mess, and I think they took a year off. And I think wrestling fans can expect a good game this time.
Wow.
Just because it was so terrible before, then I think they skipped a year. I would go in expecting it to be okay this time if you're a wrestling fan.
I'm just surprised that wrestling games are still a thing.
Reviews will be out soon. So
I used to play wrestling games when I was younger.
I did as well on PlayStation. Yeah,
on SmackDown 2.
Yeah, SmackDown 2. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the boy.
I thought they were all quite good. Yeah, quite entertaining.
Would you play one now?
But the problem I played, I think it was 2K20 maybe or 19, and the career mode was so awful. Like it was nothing like it used to be. It was terrible. It was like a scripted story. Terrible career mode.
Yeah.
Well, I guess WWE in real life is kind of a story, isn't it? They have their narratives.
I know, but
it's all scripted.
Yeah. It was terrible. But it wasn't like, oh, you win this match, you progress up the rankings, and basically portraying it like it's real. It was actually treating it like it's a story, but it was real. Yeah, well, it's like it was real and a story. It's just awful. It was all predetermined. Didn't like it.
Oh well, this could be better. So give it a try if you're a wrestling fan or if you're a wrestling game fan. Next one, GTA 5 and GTA Online coming out PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. This is a next-gen upgrade coming out on March 15th. Do we need to talk about this?
I would like to make a point.
Of course you would.
Yeah, shut up. I think tomorrow Rockstar are announcing the cost of this, and it's heavily rumoured to be £35.
Oh, wowie. I mean, you do know this podcast will come out on that day, so if this is actually wrong, Kurt...
No, it's coming out. Sorry, when I say tomorrow, I mean Tuesday, so it would have come out yesterday, the pricing. But,
so they're releasing the price a week before? That's awful.
That's weird, isn't it? Like, what kind of tactic is that? Oh, by the way, this game that's 8 years old, we're going to charge you £35.
So is that £35 new, or is that... for the actual...
It's new, and apparently there's no upgrade
to your original?
No upgrade plan for existing
owners.
Wow,
so you can't even upgrade it. Oh, shit.
No.
And the other thing here as well, it says that's in this report is that it's £18 for just online or something as well.
Wow.
So
that is awful, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I want to say. They are the biggest money grabbing bastards ever. I know the game has made fuck tons, but just give something to the fans. Just something.
That is super dicey. That is not okay.
It's disgraceful.
And if it ends up being true, and obviously this comes out.
Oh, now he's backtracking.
No. There's no backtracking.
Okay.
It's just if it ends up being true, it's a fucking piss take. And if it's not
backtracking,
true,
Kirk.
Backtracking, Kirk.
What's the next one?
The next one is Tunic, coming out on PC, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. March 16th. Explore a land filled with lost legends, ancient powers, and ferocious monsters in Tunic, an isometric adventure game about a small fox on a big adventure. It's an isometric adventure game, and it looks charming. It looks really nice, yeah.
Didn't we speak about this recently as well?
We did.
It
was at it was at a major event. It may have even been E3.
Yeah.
But Kirk, you might know. Is this coming to Game Pass?
I think it is.
Ooh.
I think. I will have to check. I'll have to check that. But I was going to say this kind of gives me Death's Door.
Absolutely,
vibes,
that's in my notes.
Is that the one with the crow?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I had the same. Yeah. I
I'm
the game with the crow.
I'm actually, I was disappointed because I thought it might be a Devolver Digital game and then we could get a code, but no. So can't get that for you, buddy. But it might be on Game Pass. Kurt, you should, look that one up because
I am doing it right now.
It looks brilliant. This game looks really good. Serious Death's Door vibe.
It is not going to be a day one Game Pass release, but it says not a day one Game Pass release. So could come. It looks like the kind of game that would come to Game Pass.
So no, not on Game Pass and no code. So there you go.
That's it for the new releases. Cool. Another okay week, I'll say, because there's a lot there.
There is a lot there, yeah. Especially if you're into your 4X, that game could actually be quite good. The Distant Worlds too.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. That's why Pete isn't here. He's actually researching for that game, I think.
Yeah, he's all in. Right, so what we've been playing. Shall I? I'm going to start because I've got a short one to start with. And I actually played Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, the demo that came out.
Ooh,
so
Kirby.
Kirby has been highly anticipated, I would say. Do you remember we watched the Nintendo Direct and it actually looked quite good? It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And it almost had this like Last of Us 2 vibes to it at times. So many YouTubers, content creators, podcasters, all this kind of stuff, and loads of people on Twitter who have gaming accounts, they're all excited for this game. So this demo came out, and I like it when they release a demo, because to me it says you're quite confident in the game. So I played it, my girlfriend played it as well, so I got her second opinion. I have absolutely no idea what kind of adult would be into this game. I'm not hating on that. If you are, that's fucking brilliant. And loads of people are. Like, I see them on Twitter. But to me, it's just terrible. It's just absolute wank. I also think that as a kid, I would not enjoy this.
Why?
It's exactly what you would imagine. It's Kirby bobbing around, sucking up little abilities like Mario does, throwing the hat in Odyssey, killing some enemies. But for what reason? It's just a bit lame. It's just a bit like, what's the point in it? I don't know. It just
You're not a fan of a game without purpose, are you?
No. I think Ben out of all of us is probably the one that gives these games a lot of
I give them more.
leeway.
I give them more. The thing is, like, I compare this type of game, played this demo. It's only half an hour long or something, but I compare this to other Nintendo games like Luigi's Mansion, which for me was awesome. It was a Stonewall 10, and then I play this game, and I'm like, who wants this? And I'm sure there will be some young kids out there, or whatever. But as a kid, I would not play this. And I think you've got a lot of content creators out there who are looking at this game and they're almost like creating their own excitement around this game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I was just, I don't get it. There's nothing there for me.
Okay, all right. So not a fan.
But I would be interested to know if people have played this and go, no, you're completely wrong. I probably am.
How much is it? Do we know?
It will be a £40 release.
Oh my god!
Okay. Shall I move us on?
Yes, yeah, please do. Kirk.
Because it doesn't sound like we're going to be going far with Kirby. Okay, so I've been playing Spyro the Dragon. Go on, get your shots in now.
So when we said earlier about you playing,
just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it. Yeah. He's here for one reason only, because we upset the Voomy fans, and we need to show that we're actually, giving them a voice.
I don't think you upset anyone, because they listen to us still, and they comment about you saying Voomy. But okay. So anyway.
Right, you're saying you have no purpose.
Basically, yeah, I've just fucked myself. Brilliant. I've been playing Spyro the Dragon. I wanted something easy to play because I haven't played anything.
Isn't this an Activision game?
Yeah, it is.
I thought you were boycotting Activision.
Oh, yeah!
The game's already come out.
Right, okay.
So.
Oh, I guess.
Okay. So it came out in 2018. So, yeah, I didn't know anything about what was going on behind there. So I forget how enjoyable it is to play a game like this at times, on the basis that it's going back to basics, solving minor puzzles, having fun characterized enemies to destroy, and just a really stupid story with a fun character to take hold of in Spyro, basically. Obviously the games like Sonic and Mario, where you do all those collectibles and you get that dopamine hit with that sound, don't you? Like when you collect something, it's so nice, and that's what happens in this game as well. When you're collecting your gems and your chests and stuff, you're just feeding that hit each time, and it just progressively. It obviously gets harder as it goes on, but it's just really nice to play, and because it's a simple platformer, because it is the OG 3 games from the PlayStation that they've remastered entirely for the new console, and on that basis, it does look really nice. What they've done to bring it up to date is good. Obviously, it's got its art style; it's quite cartoony in a way.
It's really good though what they've done to it, isn't it?
Yeah, and their trailers that they put out beforehand, it shows you the original game, and then it comes over to the newest one, and it's like, oh wow, okay, it's great. It's just, I get a real sense of satisfaction when you
satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Please stop. Yes. Please stop.
Okay, immersion juice.
Thank you.
Thank you. You recovered it perfectly.
So you just get completing the levels 100%. You just get a real sense of yes, I've done it. And I have either of you two played this or back in the day, on the PlayStation or anything?
No.
I actually played a little bit of the remaster.
Okay.
Recently on the Switch. For you, Kirk, does this game only hold up because of your nostalgia? If this game was brand new release now, and you'd never heard of Spyro, how do you think you'd react to it?
I wouldn't play it.
But if you did play it, would you say
I wouldn't like? I don't. Good? No, I wouldn't.
No.
I think it'd be like your Kirby review, Ben.
No, because
how I feel as well.
It's because it is an old name that I remember fondly, and
that's fair enough.
It's been brought up to date, and it's just nice to be able to go back and play it, but with new glasses on, essentially. Yeah. And the dragons that you save, basically, I just like their names. They're you got names like Kelvin, Ajax, and Azizi, and they sound like surfer dudes. like yo Spyro, you gotta go and do this, man. It's like, okay, thanks. So. I do have some things where I'm like about it though. The dragons do fucking go on at you all of the time. I forget how stupid some. Oh well, I think the game thinks you're stupid when you're playing, because as a platformer, it's pretty basic what you've got to do. If you're a seasoned gamer, you know what you're doing. You can double jump, you can glide, you can shoot your flames and dash with your horns and stuff. But the game just seems to constantly remind you through the dragons what you got to do. So press double jump. So, press the action button when you're at the top of your jump so that you get as much air as possible. It's like, yeah, I know. You fucking told me that about half an hour ago in another level. Why are you telling me again? I know how to play the game, you twat. I wouldn't be here otherwise. There's also this very annoying character. I don't know what he's called, but he goes nah 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 nah, and then laughs and then runs in circles. And he's got an egg that you got to get off of him, and you really do like in the early levels. It's pretty standard to get him. You kind of got to get around some obstacles to get him. But in some of the later levels, it's a bit of a piss take, to be honest with you. And I lost my patience a few times, if I'm being honest.
Are you in Eddie talks about it a lot. Are you in gaming limbo at the moment?
Yes.
Limbo of gaming.
I am in gaming limbo, so I'm just kind of like this is something easy for me to just pick up and play and just kind of
It's
waste
annoying
some time
because
with.
there's not many good games that have come out this month, is there?
It's not like there's
frustrating.
a myriad of AAA games or anything.
Yeah,
coming
so
out.
Forbidden West can't get PlayStation 5, and I'm not getting a PlayStation 4 because I want to play it on the PS5.
Did Dying Light, didn't you?
I did look at Dying Light. I didn't get it in the end, and in the end, I don't think it would have been my cup of tea. And also, Elden Ring, as we all know, is not my thing. So that's why I haven't. I'm not going to spend £50 on something to go. No, this definitely is not for me.
We'll talk about Elden Ring.
Spoilers.
That'd be stupid. Whoever did that.
We'll talk about Elden Ring from a newbie's perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So
in a little bit. So
Yeah. But basically, what this game is, it's just something fun for me to play. I like the whole simple platformer mechanics. That it just reminds me of games of yesteryear, like your Mario and Sonics, and obviously this scratches that itch for now. The one thing I will say that's really fucked me off though, and I don't know how a game like this in this day and age, whilst I'm playing on a Series X, can have such a shitty, shoddy frame rate half the time.
On a Series X as well.
Yeah. And the loading times between worlds is fucking horrendous. Okay? I shit you not, I was waiting 30 to 45 seconds for it to load. So Spyro flies as the loading screen's there. I could understand that taking that long on an Xbox One, but why that long on a Series X? I thought that even the games that weren't optimized would still benefit from an SSD.
I've heard they're optimizing Spyro, and it's costing £35. So
I love it that we're in an age where a man complains about waiting 30
I know.
seconds.
I thought that when he said that.
The thing is, you say that. No, you say that. I've
minutes.
become accustomed to an SSD. You can load up Forza Horizon 5 in like 10 seconds, which is a big open world. Yet this shitty platformer game can't do its basic needs quicker than it's infuriating.
Eddie, didn't you say that you waited 3.5 minutes for a battle in Total War last week?
Yeah, that's right. Every battle, takes 3 hours 20.
Each and every one.
I'm sorry, I don't think we're in an age now where we don't need to wait for that kind of stuff.
Oh god, you sound like every Karen ever.
Right, let's move this on. Shall we talk about a brand new game?
Ooh.
Because Kirk's not playing brand new games. So
fuck off.
Maybe we should talk about one. Well, I and ahed all week about whether I should get Gran Turismo 7.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Yeah, apologies. I didn't say it right.
Please.
Gran Turismo 7. And to be honest, I was put off by the reviews. I wasn't into. I like the idea of a bit of a grind with these games, but what I was put off by was the idea that you're being talked at a lot, and there was a lot of hoops to jump through to actually play the game. A lot of things you have to do. A lot of people telling you what's going on in the world, and I don't know. The reviews that I listened to said it'll take you a fair few hours before you actually get in and you're free to play the game.
That's a bit much, isn't it?
It did put me off. But when I tried to load in the game, and I actually only started playing it today. You have to have a download, as well as just the disk install, and that froze and it failed. And whilst I was waiting for that download, I was playing a mini game. You have to play this mini game before you're allowed to play the real game. I don't know why that is, but you have to play a mini game. Which is basically riding around a track to some ridiculously annoying music. And I completed said minigame, realised the download was completely stalled. I've got a gig internet and it just wasn't moving.
Question, Ben, sorry, just is that like an early intro to the music feature of the game that they implemented this time round?
Yes, it
So
is
forcing you to
because-
play it, basically.
Yeah, it's a music mini game where you're basically racing the music around a track.
Okay. Right.
So yeah, they're like, oh, enjoy this music mini game whilst you wait for your download. No, I would rather not. I'd rather not participate in such a thing, but I have to. Anyway, I realised it stalled and I restarted the PlayStation. Okay, nothing. I then deleted the game and started the game again, and then it said, you have to play that mini game again. Okay, This is very annoying, very very annoying. The music was grinding my gears quite a lot. I then completed that mini game.
Do you mean
waited.
riding your gears because of cars? Is that
No,
They didn't mean that, but it's a lovely
That just
coincidental.
That just worked. So then I finished that, and then I waited, and then it said, "Oh, now you're free to play the game because you did that mini game." So you actually had to do the mini game. That really irked me, and because it didn't register my first attempt, that was really annoying. But I then moved on to the game, and I shit you not, it's the longest intro sequence I've ever had to a game. Like, you start and it's got like this artistic intro. And you're like, okay, well, you're trying to introduce the people who made the game. That's I can deal with that. Some pictures, and then it goes into this sequence of like just showcasing what the game looks like, different camera angles, like racing around the track. I don't give a fuck. I want to play the game. Please just shut up and let me play. I'm already furious about having to download this game twice and play this stupid mini game twice. and then I'm clicking every single button just repeatedly, like, please, please, please. I'm now getting stressed that you're not letting me in the world. And then I get into the world, and then you have somebody on the screen that says, hey, let me talk you through everything in the game. No, please don't. Please don't.
Have you not had enough of that already?
Please just, and they didn't even pay a voice actor. Like, they just got words coming up on the screen. You're like,
you got to read it. You've got to read it.
Got to read.
Oh no, it's Pokemon all over again.
Absolutely, Kurt. That's literally what I thought. And then I didn't realise that you go into like the car dealership, and it's like stepping into Persona 5. Like, the music is just like you're walking around Persona. You're like, what is happening here? Like, what is up with the music in this game? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And during that main cutscene, like, the thing that really, it was pushing me over the edge so much, I just walked out the room.
Okay.
Then I came back in, and then I had to. I wanted to check that like the save system worked or whatever, because I was cocked up for the mini game. So I stopped the game after I did a couple of races, and then came back in. And then that fucking intro sequence started again, and I pressed all the buttons, and it wouldn't quit. And you have to watch it for like, I don't know, 5-7 seconds or something. But I was so scared that it was like, no, I was stuck in this perpetual time loop of watching this fucking intro sequence. Oh my god! But
okay, so did you actually play it? Did you actually get to play it?
So I did play the game. So I did a few races, and it's probably the first driving game that I've ever had where actually driving inside the car is quite cool. Like, I always am outside the car when I'm controlling the car usually.
Yeah, you use the chase cam, don't you?
But yes, but I actually like it inside the car.
Was it, did you get a sense of the chase cam being a bit static to the car?
I haven't used it, so
okay.
I don't know yet. So I know you've pointed that out, that it's almost like feels like it's stuck to the car as you're racing round, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'll speak more about this next week, but okay. I've literally just started out, done the first few races, which are very boring to start with, but that's fine. I think it's a bit of a grind fest to get cars and stuff, but I think that's probably what this game is all about. So I'm not actually too mad at that. Like. I'm not too mad at that, like unlocking cars, unlocking tracks, that type of stuff. I know it'll take time, and I think it's more of a background game for me. It's just a shame that like I had a couple of hours to play this afternoon, and literally those few hours were eaten up by this whole fiasco of starting the game. Like, I was so annoyed and stressed after it that I played for it, and I went, I'm putting on Elden Ring. couldn't be asked. So it's a shame, because what I have played of the driving is very, very good. The only thing that I would say, just starting out, like, you put it on normal mode, and it's got it's got like assisted braking. Like, you can turn it off. I did turn it off after a few races, but Like, you can play on normal mode with assisted braking. You basically don't even need to brake on the track. It does it all for you. It's
hate it when
weird.
games do that.
No.
Weird. It's so weird. You have to turn off everything.
Isn't there? I've seen in some videos and stuff as well, because I think Forza started this when it first came out. The braking line.
So it's a bit
that's
different.
Annoying as well.
Yeah, so you can turn it off. You can turn it off, Eddie. Don't worry. But it's a bit different to Forza, because Forza has like a heat kind of line, doesn't it? Where if you haven't pressed brake,
you can tell how quickly you're going, and if you're not stopping quick enough, it's red.
From what I've seen, it doesn't do that. It's got a racing line, and then it actually has like a zone in the track where it's saying start braking now.
Okay.
So
do you have that on or off?
It's on automatically, and you have to turn it off in normal. So the normal mode, you have to turn off the brake assist, and you have to turn that off.
It's annoying, because I find with games like that, I find it so immersion breaking when there's things like that. But there are some games, I don't know if this is like it, but you kind of have to have these things on it, else the game's nearly impossible.
So what I would say, Eddie, what I would say is that you don't certain racing games, like if you do something wrong or something, it causes you to spin out and stuff like that.
Right.
This is a lot more forgiving, I think, than some of those other games from what I've experienced so far.
Okay. You know what I did it the best is one of those rally games. Do you remember the rally games?
Colin McRae.
I think that's it. They did it brilliantly. I remember I used to play him when I was younger, and you used to have the guy next to you saying like what kind of turn it is, and
that's good.
And you could turn on so it has like an arrow of like how sharp the turn is coming up.
Yeah,
and I thought that was fucking brilliant, because you had to use your own brain to go, oh fuck, I should slow down. I'm going pretty. So
this game has a mini map in the top right. You can turn all these things off, but the mini map in the top right is of the track, and in the top left is your like positioning with all the other drivers. But the positioning with all the other drivers and the map on the top right are linked, so you either have them both off or both on.
Right.
But
how's it look?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it looks wonderful. Yeah. Like I have seen a lot of people commenting on comparing it to other games, and what's that other really good racer that
are you taking the piss out? Are you talking about Forza?
No, I'm not taking.
No, I don't think. I
think you trying to wind him up.
No, Ben wouldn't be that elaborate. Ben wouldn't be that elaborate.
Kirk, you'll probably know the other one. A Grid. That's the one.
Grid. Okay.
So people were like comparing them to those two, and they're kind of having a go at Gran Turismo for a lot of stuff. But I think it really is hard to compare, because they choose like the best lighting shot of the other ones and then compare them with this, or they compare Need for Speed and the bit around town or something. Like if you've got a night shot, like it just looks awesome.
Ben, I saw it came up on my Instagram feed. I think it was Games Radar put like a picture of like photo mode in Gran Turismo 7. And fuck me, some of the pictures look stunning. Like one of them was like through the shadows of trees. One of them was at like nighttime with all like the lamps coming down.
It is true.
Amazing.
It is true, but the photo mode is not what you see, because the photo mode has ray tracing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but ray tracing's not in this. It's not in game. It's only on replays.
But there's no in-game ray tracing. So this is what I mean about when people like, and I complained a lot and blamed Kirk for it all. But when people were taking photos in Forza and all that kind of stuff, and it's it looks so great. Yeah, the photo, which is post-processed the hell out of, like looks amazing, but that is adding a lot of extra stuff that the game doesn't currently have. But honestly, I thought it looked great, and I thought the car handling was really nice. But I've played so little of it, so this isn't anything other than me just turning it on, doing a few races, and saying that feels good.
Fair enough. I just want to point out, because I just in case I forget for next week, but I did watch that Digital Foundry comparison video between PS4 and PS5, and they've done a fucking phenomenal job with the PS4 version. It really is quite a marvel, to be honest with you. And obviously the PS5 version has better lighting, it has better shadows, you have the ray traced elements on replays, etc. But basically what the PS4 version suffers from is lack of density and shadows and stuff, because it's obviously a lot more taxing on the system. But overall, it's really good. good
But
conversion.
when you're racing though around a track, it's like we said about Forza when we talked about the open world, and you made that great point about saying this is an open world game. That's why it doesn't all look amazing. But when you're driving along, you're not looking at all that other stuff.
No, you're looking at trying to concentrate on not smacking into someone in front of you. Or,
Absolutely,
trying to race, aren't you?
It's one of the most intense games that you get, isn't it?
One of the things that did make me chuckle though on it was they had a side by side of the car just pulling up to the side of like the track, and where there's some grass was there, and on the PS5 you've actually got you got the base level of grass, and then you've got the shard, like the shards, not shards, fucking blades of grass that come up and kind of like wave around a little bit. On the PS4 version, none of that is there. It's just the flat grass underneath.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's
you
details like that.
Yeah, you got to make concessions, but
overall really good.
Amazing that it's on both, especially because this originally was supposed to be just PS5. So
it's actually based on
the
the GT Sport game. The engine's still based on PS4.
Is it?
Yeah. That's what came out of it. So I think it was. I think it was originally, obviously, like you said, it's going to be a PS5 exclusive, but because it's based on the older tech, they were able to bring it out. And then obviously, as time went on with pandemic and stuff, and PS4s being so abundantly available, or out there, should I say, they obviously chose to make it cross-gen.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll have more on GT7 next week, because I'll be playing a lot of it this week. But yeah, just didn't have time because I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, and so has Eddie.
Nice segue. I like these segues.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Thank you.
24 hours.
I've been playing, Elden Ring for, was it 24 hours, was it?
24 hours, yeah.
Not bad for 6 days. So, yeah, I got this because everyone's banging on, well, everyone who hasn't got a PC has been banging on about how this game is insane, how it's the best game of all time, and everyone just, I mean, the scores have been incredible that I've seen across the board from people that I even trust as well. So I thought I have to kind of give it a game, even though it's really not my kind of game. Ben, how many times have we had little scuffles because you say you need to play this type of game, and I've just...
Yeah.
God.
We've almost come to blows several times.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but...
What?
First I heard about that, but... I thought I'd get it, and it's £50, so I wasn't too happy, because the two games in my life that I've spent over £30 were... What were they? There was Cyberpunk, which I could play.
And Battlefield.
And Battlefield. One of the worst game launches of all time. So, yeah, I wasn't too optimistic, but
£2 per hour so far, mate. You've not done too bad.
yeah. I guess that's not too bad. I can kind of see why people are saying this is one of the best games ever made. I think straight away when I get launched into the game, it's pretty apparent that this is a game that's been dealt with brilliantly by developers. The world building, if I hadn't played Witcher, I would say is the best atmospheric world building I've ever seen. But I am getting a lot of Witcher 3 vibes from it, but on a much grander scale. So it's hard to compare. It's almost like a grand Oblivion, Skyrim, Witcher 3 kind of world building, but with so much more going on, so many little nooks and crannies, and so much variation. Not one area, like you go from one area to the next, and there's different creatures, there's different people, there's different things to do. So all the time, it keeps you wanting to play, to see what's around the next corner, and that's why I've played so many hours, is because I just keep on going. Other aspects of the game, the voice acting, the character building of NPCs and whatnot has been fantastic. There's been some real care put into that. I'm so sick to death with games phoning in like the voice acting, because it really loses the immersion. But this game, they've really kind of combed over every single detail. The combat's brilliant. I'm really enjoying that. And I thought I'd hate the mechanics of the game itself, of what it is. The fact that it's just a, what did I used to call these games? A dodge
Devil
and
May
slash.
Cry.
I think Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it's no Devil May Cry, but it's it's I think the fact that it's an open world game. I don't think I'd enjoy the other ones because they're not open world; they're more linear. While this one, if I am finding it hard to beat an enemy, then I just go elsewhere and I fight something else, and I have a great time. And then the level of achievement I feel when I go back and I defeat that boss that I tried 5 times prior to kill and I didn't come close is fantastic. And Ben, what you said last week, you and Pete said about when you find a new item and you go, honestly, there's been times where I found something and I've gone, like, I'm so happy because I go like, wow, that's a game changer. I'm going to quickly go back to this boss and see if I can, oh no, I'm still dying, but at least I got more health off in this time. It's an absolute delight. It's weird because it's a completely different game to what I play. There are so many things I've had to completely change the way I play computer games. Like, I'm a completionist. I have to go around an area and comb over and kill every single thing. In the very first area, spoilers for the people in the very first area who have literally just installed the game but haven't started playing it yet. There's an enemy that kills you straight away, and that boggles my mind. I tried to kill this guy like probably 20 times. And then I went, maybe this is that thing that Pete and Ben were talking about maybe you can't just kill everything. So
I never even tried. I just walked, like, because I know
you saw how big he was.
I just went, nope, nope, go somewhere else. I didn't even try that until I've only ever fought him once and I beat him.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
at that time I destroyed him.
And the other thing is, my approach to games is I always like to feel progression. But what's great about this game, and I've never felt this in any other game, is the progression is beating the game itself, is getting past the bosses. And I think it's because it's so hard, and it really challenges your gaming ability, that when you do defeat a boss, it's like, yes, it's actually me that's done that. Honestly, but Ben, the difference between me playing the game on the very first 20 minutes and me playing it after 10 hours was astronomical. I restarted with the same person and I completed it. The thing that took me like 4 hours took me like half an hour. Because it's not because of the skill of the person, because I was still the same level. It was the fact that I knew what I was doing. I was dodging at the right times. I was blocking at the right times. When
I first played Dark Souls 1, I was hooked after one play session. I played 4 hours straight. The next time, after completing Dark Souls 1, I went back and started the game from scratch. What I did in the first 4 hours, I did in 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Done. Because you just know how to play the game. You have to understand the game. The biggest thing that people have to overcome with this game is the understanding of how to play. It's different to anything that you've ever taken on before. It's more strategic, more tactical, and it's not a hack and slash. It's not an action game. It's there's something to it. But what I thought you'd really love about it, and I'd like to hear about, is kind of the minimalist kind of approach to the storytelling. And you mentioned like NPCs and stuff. When they give you quests, they don't tell, like, you're not told, and you're just. I thought that'd be right up your street.
Absolutely.
It's like,
I think I said it last week, didn't I? I said I think I'd absolutely love that, and I do. Like, I'm setting. You know what's amazing as well? Like, I opened up the map and I was like, I'm gonna love this. Like, put my own, and then I saw there's like 12 different types of markers as well. And I just thank the gods, because I've been there so many times where I've like put a marker down, I've wrote on a notebook like marker 1 is this, but it's like you've got 12 different symbols, and I was like, that is honestly, there are so many bits in this game where I think they've made the game, and then they've all sat down and they've gone, right, next week we're having this meeting, I want you to come up with like 10 different things just to add to the game, like little tiny things that hardcore gamers will go, that's fucking brilliant. I watched a video the other day, Ben, and it was like 12 things you didn't know about Elden Ring. And fuck me, there were so many things that I went, that's so cool. So, Ben, did you know like different magic works in different weather types? So if it's raining,
raining, lightning damage will do more and fire does less.
And I've seen. Have you seen like if you do electric thing in a body of water, it'll actually create like a wide electric like field.
Does it
across the water?
Does it?
There's little things like that just shows that this development of this game is right on. Absolutely.
Yeah,
right on.
And I won't go into I've
Spoilers.
I talked about it a lot last week. Eddie, I'm so pleased that you're playing it and really really enjoying it.
Absolutely.
For me, this I've never played a game as crafted, as complete, as grand. Like, this game is absolutely huge. I mean, I'm entering endish game, I'd say, a mid to end game right now. It's just so big. There are so many areas that people will never see. You can complete this game, and you may only see 60% of the areas. Like, it's that big. It's so. Like, you unlock I think there's a certain boss that I've beaten that if I'd done a quest line, I think there's a hidden passage that opens up, and I think it opens up a completely new area. Like, and you don't have to do it. There's so many optional things in this game. There are, I think, 84 bosses, and I think only a seventh of those are mandatory. Like, the game is so vast, it's so big. It's incredibly well crafted, and the beautiful thing about Dark Souls games and this game is that everything is for a reason. Everything feels purposeful. Everything that kills you randomly or something happens, you're like, yeah, they got me.
Absolutely. Even got me. I knew what you meant when I thought he's not even a boss. He's just a tough version of a group of people that you're fighting. And I was fighting him, and I died to him like twice. And then the third time I fought him, I remembered that he had like 3 thrusts. And I went, right, so next time, don't just dodge away and then wait for the third. And you learn by dying. I think you said that before. You learn little things, especially with the bosses, the way they have their certain things.
You have to learn the patterns, don't you?
The patterns, exactly. And it honestly, it gives you that sense of accomplishment when you've learnt the patterns and you've actually done what you're supposed to do.
If it's something that you've been batting your head against the wall, like, continuously, and then that run that everything goes perfectly, and you go, yes, like, I did that. It's so satisfying. And yeah, for me, this has I didn't realize I was missing a lot in gaming. Like, this has made me totally rethink things again. Like, every time I play a Souls game, I get pulled in, but this, more than any other game, it's like, I don't know when I'm gonna have another game like this. Like, I don't know when this is gonna happen again.
Yeah,
this is the first time that this has happened like this dramatic a shift of like, it's probably like when I walk into Kirby this week, it's probably why, because it's like, I'm just like, and I'm playing Gran Turismo this afternoon, and I'm like, I just want to play Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring is the best game of all time, in my opinion.
Is it your goat?
This,
very good.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT. Like, at the moment, I can't wait to finish this game, because then I can proudly proclaim it as my favourite game of all time. Like, it's mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing.
Do you reckon that will be your statement in, like, right now you've got recency bias? You're playing it, you're loving it.
Yes.
Do you reckon in a year's time, when you go, what is my favourite game of all time? Do you think it'll be Elden Ring?
I think it could be, because, as I've said, I've never had this kind of revelation so much where you just go like, what is? And so I've got a very good friend of mine. He got me into playing Dark Souls, and the reason he did was he said I don't really play any other games. He said I started playing Dark Souls, and it made me think every other game was shit. Like, he said, wow. I can't play other games. He said I can't play other games. Now, obviously, he has gone and he plays different games now, but that was what got me into Dark Souls. This guy saying, I can't play other games because these games are too good, and the rest of them are all shit now. And this is, and I'm getting that feeling from Elden Ring. Like, I can't remember when I've put 50 hours into a game in a week. That's like a second job.
Yeah. You know what I also love about when games of this magnitude come out is this is actually going to do great things for the gaming industry now. I think competitors.
Christ, yeah.
Next time they create an open world, next time they create fighting mechanics, whatever it might be, they go. If they're a AAA developer, they go, we're going to have to beat that, or try to beat it.
So what was it this week? You probably saw this, Kirk, on Twitter. Two developers, one Ubisoft developer and somebody who worked on Horizon as well, like storytelling. They said some comments. I'll get these comments wrong because I'm not quoting them directly, but they said something about the UX, the user experience. They said something like, it's obvious that reviewers don't really care about user experience because Elden Ring got 10s. And I think it's like, they're like, Horizon's got railroaded again, and Elden Ring's getting 10s when it hasn't got a great user experience, because presumably they're talking about menus and like NPC quests and all this kind of stuff. But then people are saying the game as a whole is so much more than that. Like, you don't have to have a load of icons on the screen to show you stuff. And this game is something else. So I'm sure it'll be talked about for time and time again. And I did think the more I play it, the more I think someone like Kirk could get into it. But if you get that inclination
time
at any
sink
point,
though, isn't it? That's the thing.
It is, and that's the biggest issue for you. I think
if it was
a 15-hour game, it may not be too bad. But
I won't even fucking touch the size with 15 hours by the sounds of it.
Yeah, no, you certainly won't. But okay, well, that's enough Elden Ring, because we did it last week as well, and I'm sure when Pete's back next week, we'll do it again.
Elden Ring.
So let's move on to our feature. This was Kirk's feature. Or Kirk's idea for the feature, and it basically what makes a good scary game. And I think I rephrased that at the start to say, what the hell's wrong with scary games at the moment?
No, where the hell have all the scary games gone? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I mean, what do we think about scary games? Do they hit the same way that they used to hit? I mean, Kirk, you're a big scary game fan, so tell us what you think.
Well, I remember when I was younger, I used to play games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and I was terrified of them, like to the point where I would actually turn the sound down on the TV and put Radio 1 on and still play it, but then I wouldn't have the full experience with the sound scaring the shit out of me. So, taking away that sense, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah, so recent scary games, at least the ones that I've played, don't seem to induce that same sort of fear, even with the sound on. So, like, I'm looking at examples like The Evil Within here. The Resident Evil remakes, although I used to get scared when I was younger by them, the more photorealistic ones, although great, they don't give me that same sense of, ugh. The thing that's come closest to it in recent memory, though, is Alien Isolation for me. But that's like 8 years old now. And
is it 8 years old?
Yeah. Came out of nowhere as well. Like, it's such a sleeper game, and I think it still looks and plays well today.
Did you know, Kirk, that I think the best version of that is on the Switch?
Wow. Okay, did not know that.
I think it looks the best on the Switch.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
Do you guys remember the Kojima Productions PT game?
Yes, I never played PT, but because it's the demo thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was supposed to be a spiritual successor to Silent Hill, and that looked fucking terrifying. Like, it was a loop of you going in a hallway of a house, basically, and every time you got from one end to the other, something different would happen, and it was so eerie and so fucking creepy, and just the noises and the...
Was PT the name, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, PT.
Yes.
It's almost like a legendary demo now, isn't it, PT?
Why do I know about it? What's the acronym? Is it an acronym or is it just PT?
No, just PT,
just
but it
PT,
had Norman Reedus as the main guy in it. So I'm not talking about Death Stranding. This is Death Stranding came off the back end of this PT game. Okay. Basically it was just watching it. I never managed to play it because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, but just seeing what it was like, fuck, that could be something really, really good to me. But overall, where are all the scary games at the moment?
I love Death Stranding.
Not scary game, though.
Every time we talk about it, you speak higher of it. Honestly, the first time you were like, I know everyone says it's shit, but I don't think it was too bad. Now I love this game.
Eddie, you don't understand. I love
Next year, it is the best. It's
my
better than Elden
GO18.
Ring.
It's my GO18.
Right, I think last year, like we had. Did anybody see Tormented Souls? That was released. It was kind of like in the same vein as old school Resident Evil.
Yeah,
that looked quite scary. But the kind of AAA, AA kind of ones that released, House of Ashes, The Medium, Resi 8. Oh god, damn it! They just weren't scary at all. Even Dying Light 2, like at the start of that, it has got a bit of a scare to it until you realise this is full action game. It's not so. But do you think that it's because we're getting older, or have they actually changed at the media they're trying to produce? Because I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre this weekend.
Oh yeah, any good?
It's fine, but it's not scary at all.
Yeah,
like at all.
Is it like a gore fest?
Yes,
yeah,
absolute gore fest, gore fest, and it seems like they're stepping away from trying to be terrifying because people aren't as easily terrified these days. It just doesn't seem.
I agree. I think a lot of horror movies either go down the gore route or they go down the action route. A lot of them go down, like, it's thrilling because there's a lot of adventure. While, like, the best action scary movie for me is Alien 1, and it's because it was so
amazing,
like atmospheric, and it took its time to do things. But
even they changed it in Aliens because they went, look, the alien has been revealed, and we realised that, and so they went differently in Aliens.
Okay,
but Alien 1 was spectacular, and Alien Isolation, Kirk, as you mentioned, it's such an underrated game.
Yeah,
Fantastic
and it's
game.
based in the Alien universe as well, like the
you're
the
Ripley's
whole
daughter,
setting.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you? That's very
the whole
cool.
setting
it's
is
canon.
literally like the film. So
the first hour to that game is wonderful. Like, it is pure atmosphere. It is so well crafted. If you take it slowly and take all of it in, wear headphones, that first hour to Alien Isolation is spectacular.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so what do we need then? What do we need to make it scary? Because they're not doing it now, are they?
They are not. So, I mean, some things that I can recall from games of past that I've played. So, Resident Evil, something that I'm feeling overwhelmed by zombies, having not a lot of ammo, basically.
Oh, that's the one, Kurt. That's the one. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Scarcity of ammo. I hate that in games. I hate scarcity of ammo. You know why I hate it? Because it's scary.
Yeah, exactly. It's that fear of shit. If I run out of ammo, how am I supposed to defend myself? Because if I get killed, I'm dead.
Dead Space is constant. No ammo.
If I'm killed, I'm dead.
That was it. When I said it, I thought to myself,
You're not wrong.
No, you're dead.
I also think I think difficulty is a big thing. If you play Dead Space on hard difficulty, it becomes scary. If you play it on easy difficulty, it's an action game.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that is a big difference.
I think eerie atmospheres like Silent Hill as well, that kind of that psychological style of game, that also is fucking weird. Do you remember the nurses from Silent Hill, where if you looked at them, they wouldn't come for you as soon as you had your back turned? The way that they creepily moved towards you was fucking horrendous.
I never played Silent Hill, Kirk.
Oh, did you not? Okay.
Oh,
No.
that was was it PlayStation 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a game that was. That was terrifying.
That was your chance. That was your chance to rip into me. I ripped into you earlier for not. Playing something.
What's the point? What's the point in ripping into you? We're talking.
Come on, Kirk. You can't ask what's the point, because then that calls into question the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah, good point.
How the fuck did you not play Silent Hill, Ben?
Thank you. That's what I need.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think
one of the best games.
That's more anger than anything else, Kirk.
No, well, he pisses me off, doesn't he? He says one thing, does another, fucking ridicules me for the XYZ, pissing wanker. Anyway.
Pissing wanker. Very
pissing
good.
wanker, yeah. Did you guys ever play Condemned?
I didn't, and it was supposed to be fucking scary, wasn't it?
It was very scary. It was one of the... Okay, so obviously I said about Alien Isolation, and that one was that was right up there for me. But Condemned was something that came out of nowhere. Again, it was a Sega game. Sega developed and published that one, and it was just that it was an eerie atmosphere. You played as a cop, basically. I can't remember the premise of the story off the top of my head, but you were obviously trying to investigate something that was going on, and there would be a bunch of crackheads and stuff that would come after you in really run down buildings, and there was a lot of jump scares in it. But there's just the atmosphere as a whole, and just how gritty it was. It was done so well. And then just jump into Alien Isolation, the xenomorph. My God. Like, because it's always stalking you. It's the fear of getting caught because you cannot kill it in at least in the early stages.
And it's good that it shows you the enemy early on, but it doesn't, like, because like some things do a reveal maybe midway through and it kind of takes it away. But if you actually reveal the bad guy at the start and then make the scares around being caught by the bad guy,
the thing is,
different.
You've got that gun, the radar gun as well, haven't you, in that game? And you can keep an eye on where it is. But the thing is, I don't know how true this is, but I remember reading that the game's AI would always change based on whatever you were doing in the game. Now, obviously, it's a relatively linear story, but wherever you were, you could be making noise in one place that you might not make noise in another place, and it will come and get you. It will find you if you make too much noise, and you got to hide if it comes for you, and then even when you hide, you're not always safe. So it's that kind of, please don't find me when you're hiding in a locker and you're looking through it and it's just creeping around and thumping. Ugh.
Yeah, especially as if I remember rightly, save points were manual, right?
They were. So, yes.
So actually, you could go quite some period of time without saving.
And if you die,
that's infuriating as well. And that is also a trait of really good old school scary games where it's like manual saves. Like Resident Evil, do you remember used to like typewriters? And you could only have a limited number of saves in the game.
Yeah, you had ribbons, didn't you?
Yes, but now it's just unlimited. And I remember when I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, I was saving every 2 seconds. Yeah. I actually found Resident Evil 2 Remake scary. I really did.
Okay, fair enough.
That game shit me up. That game is but that's based off an old game, but that is really scary.
The scariest bit about Resident Evil 2 Remake for me was Mr. X. It was that stalking aspect, because I hated
that so much.
When you've got a stalker in the game that's constant, and you just can't freely do what you want. Even if you've got to clear out enemies from a room or something like that, you know that just around the corner, this fucker could be anywhere.
Well, honestly, I didn't finish Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Oh, did you not?
I know it's very short, but I knew as soon as I started playing it, I knew I wasn't going to finish it.
Okay.
Because it was too
scary.
It was actually too scary for me.
All right.
And I like a bit of a scare, but
I would take the mick out of you, but I can't play scary games because
you
I
can't play them, can you? No, you couldn't even play Dead Space.
No. You know what? It's not the fact that I can't do it. It's just I then feel myself being on edge all the time, and I go, do I want to be on edge the whole fucking time?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the game, though, because I don't know about you, but it's the whole. I've always found I used to love scary films, but I'm so numb to them now. Even psychological ones, things like The Ring or Paranormal Activity, those kind of films that really fuck with you. I used to like watching them because I would get scared by them. I watch them today, or I watch like a newer, updated version. I'm just sitting there going, "What's going on?" Even jump scares in films don't get me. But
do you think that's age?
No, because this is where gaming for me with scary games comes in, because I'm in control of the character, and that's very different to me versus a film. It's all like predetermined, if that makes sense. I'm just watching it play out. Whereas if I'm in control, I am. Again, like if I die, and it's my fault. It's not going to be predetermined. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did like the Medium and its attempts at doing a psychological scary thing. It wasn't particularly scary, and it wasn't a particularly good game, but I did like its valiant attempts at trying to bring the genre back. I
played the game in its entirety, and
same, yeah.
It was okay. That was all it was. I not at one point did I think to myself, this is scary. Like,
no, and I think it might have been more psychologically impactful if I understood the story. But it got a bit loosey-goosey towards the end. I didn't quite get it.
It definitely got loosey-goosey.
I didn't quite get it.
Great phrase. But then, just those are obviously that we just rattled off some good examples, what you need for a fear factor. But then, just to put it back onto Resi, because obviously it's one of the bigger franchises. Resi 5 and 6 were dog shit in every sense of the word.
Not in a scare way. I liked Resi 5. I played it through with a friend in co-op. That's the one that you could co-op, couldn't you, from the start? Yeah. We played the whole game through, but it's incredibly action-based. There was no scares to it at all. Yeah,
that's it. And Resi 6, the less we say about that, the better, to be honest with you.
Resident Evil 7, though, very scary.
It brought it back, and if you remember when I featured on the podcast before becoming a full-time member, I did say that there were definitely elements of that game that reminded me of what a scary game can be. And then they fucked it with Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, so Resident Evil 7, I also played and completed, but it was a struggle for me.
Scared? Because you were scared?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Scaredy goose.
Scaredy goose. That's the closest I've come in the modern age now of scary games. That has made me go, what we need more of that, basically. So
yeah, it's a different genre of game that I don't usually play, but I will occasionally pick up and really enjoy by not enjoying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But pleased that you get through it. But so what do we want to see? Future of scary games. Go on, hit me. Where do you think it's going to go?
Eddie, you got anything first?
3 things. I want atmosphere. I want. Do you call it manual saves? I would have thought it'd be the opposite of manual saves.
Yeah, manual saves.
Yeah, that's how they made it scary. Manual
absolutely.
Saves.
Honestly, it's weird, but ages ago when you asked me the scariest thing that's happened in a video game for me is in Fallout 4, where I play in hardcore mode and I've gotten really far and then I find loads of enemies and I shit myself because I go, oh my god, I'm just about to lose so much. So that really scares me, and scarcity of ammo. I love that shit. That really puts me on edge. That's why I love Dead Space so much, even though I can't play it. Is because the rarity of ammo and the atmosphere, I think, is better than any other game. So,
but the remake should get all of that in.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see this remake for Dead Space. I know I didn't rate the first one at all when I played it, but it doesn't hit the way I needed it to, and I just don't see what everybody else sees. But
I think if you played it on, I think if you play it on a hard difficulty, it does get really scary.
No, it's just the look of it, mate.
You couldn't get immersed into it, could you, because of the look? So
I thought it looks great these days.
Can I just say,
it looks good.
I did actually load up Dead Space 2 on the weekend.
It looks a hell of a lot better, doesn't it?
It looks a shit ton better. And the enemies are obviously very stylized, and I was like thinking to myself, okay, this looks good. And then graphically the lighting's fantastic, and there's a lot of dark areas. You obviously start off in the straitjacket, don't you? And then you in the hospital, right? Yeah. So that was quite cool what they did there. So I just wasn't 100% in the mood to play it at the time.
If you get in the mood, play that, man.
Don't
play Dead Space 3. That's not so good. But Dead Space 2,
I've heard. But I will give that a go. But that's the kind of environment I want to see in things like this. And the other thing that there's two more things that I think personally for me that will help scary games. Psychological games versus gory games. It needs to be psychological. Things that fuck with your mind, like things that come up on screen that you... Did that just happen, or am I imagining that? Like, they need to create, like Eddie said, create the atmosphere and then make you second guess yourself. That's what makes me scared. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I like... do you remember that film, The Descent?
Yes.
One of the best horror films of all time.
Yes.
They would just have like the creatures just randomly in the back of the shot, but you wouldn't see them.
You wouldn't necessarily see them, would you?
No, and I love that type of stuff where it's like, was that
discreet.
there? Was that not there? It's just absolutely awesome. Descent, what a film! What a film!
I like how the feature for horror games is like
it's into movies.
Grumpy movie.
Whatever you're going to say, that was really poorly delivered, and that was really poor content.
Yeah, it was. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, just my final thing for this, and I think you both will agree with me here. VR will change scary games.
Absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
Lord, yeah.
You imagine, I've said this before, you imagine sticking on a headset, being locked off from the outside world and not being able to hear anything else
Yeah.
other than see and hear what the creators have made and put you in this world and make it look as semi-realistic as possible. Fuck me, I will shit
Yeah.
a brick.
Well,
in that
I
environment.
never played Resident Evil 7. I never did that in VR. And
I can imagine that was fun.
I don't think I could have coped if I had done that in VR.
I don't think I
But
could.
can you imagine? Because VR, like for those who haven't used VR, it is incredible. Like when you're in the way, it feels amazing. Like when you're looking around, it's so. Yeah, well, with PSVR 2, and obviously we've got the
I can just
all the ones,
imagine
the Oculus and stuff.
I could just imagine like something, you know, when I'm saying like, you know, make something appear that did I just imagine that or not, and like you just have these creepy noises coming from all around you, and you can look over your shoulder, like in real life, look over your shoulder, and the camera pans with you, and you know, to be that involved with it. That is the kind of experience that I can see really making scary games have a proper comeback.
Yep.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point to end on. Great point.
Yeah.
If you've got any comments on our scary games feature or anything else, then you can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk, or you can tweet us and tweet Kirk specifically at grumpygamerspod, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grumpy Gamers Podcast. And we
Regular
survived
content.
the whole episode without Pete, didn't we?
We did. We don't need Pete. I mean, we do need Pete.
I think we probably do. Keep us on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long's this one? We always do this when Pete's not around.
No, to be fair, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's 1 hour 50-ish.
I thought that halfway through. I thought, we do run long when Pete's not
We do
here.
run along without Pete. Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, it's GG.
GG.
GG.